Hi, I'm Erin Palmer, Team Rayceen Productions co-host and moderator. Joining us is Ruby. Hi, Ruby.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for being with us. Before we talk about Ruby Red's vegan and your travel plans, I'd love to have you tell our viewers a little bit about who you are and what you do, and just let us get to know you a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am a holistic nutritionist and health coach. I'm an engineer turned health coach. That was my first career. And how I got into all of this was cancer back in 2007, healed myself with food, specifically a plant-based diet, holistic, natural remedies, nothing, no meds, no chemo, no surgery. And so that kind of changed my life and my career. So I started helping other people do the same thing. So that's how I got here. I've been in DC for like over 12 years now. I love it. So I consider it home, you know. I grew up in Alabama though. It's like second home because parents, still there. But yeah, so
Well,
that's
welcome. We
me
always
in
love
a
to hear
nutshell.
that people have made DC home, and
Absolutely.
thank you for sharing your personal story. It's
Yeah.
always both moving and
Mhm.
motivational to hear about what in people's personal lives drive them.
Yeah.
So tell us about Ruby Red's vegan delivery.
Yeah. So as part of what I do with coaching people, I often give them menu plans and recipes and things that are really going to help them, recover or stay well or get well, whatever it is. Um, then I start getting requests for if I could make the food because I do teach vegan cooking and I've done pop-ups and people really like my food. And so I started cooking for a few clients, just like two, and then I decided that this was a service I wanted to offer more formally and not to just, a few. So we started Ruby Red's Vegan. We were already in the planning stages, but during COVID, so we decided to launch because we were at home and people needed food that was healthy and good and could actually help them stay well. So that's what started Ruby Red's Vegan. And so it is a vegan organic food delivery service. Right now, we deliver every Sunday in everywhere in DC and within 40 miles of DC. So it's Maryland, Virginia, and even Baltimore. So, and it's recipes that I make and others that I curate that are unique from anything that I've seen that's out there on the market because it's very unique to the flavors. It's low oil, low salt, but very hearty in the flavor because that's so important. If the food doesn't taste good, nobody's gonna eat it, let alone pay for it. So it's love. I've trained chefs who can take my recipes and interpret them, and so it's an awesome thing. So it takes all the thought out of, what to eat, when to eat, and how to eat healthy on a plant-based diet.
It sounds amazing. And I'm not after your intellectual property, but can you give a little bit of a teaser about some of the types of food that are included, what people could expect?
Yeah, yeah. So, like on the menu that I'm eating this week, we had a miso noodle soup, which is one of my favorites, and then we have like uh, a lentil sage loaf with like a barbecue dressing on top. Um, we do lasagna, we do eggplant parmesan. Those are some of the favorites. We do enchiladas. And then one of the favorites is our pecan meatballs that are made from pecans or almonds and other things. And then like marinated either in like a tomato sauce, like for spaghetti, or a barbecue sauce, like to eat with our collard greens and mac and cheese. So it's varied, hearty and lots of flavor. So
Sounds really delicious. You're making me pretty hungry right now.
good,
And I can't wait
good.
to check it out. It's so nice to have prepared meals, and you're doing a wonderful service offering a delicious vegan option.
Yeah, and that's what I love about it. It's ready to eat. You don't have to do anything. A
Mhm.
lot of them are raw, so you don't even have to heat them. The others just heat for about 5 minutes or so, and it's good to go.
So convenient. It's nice to have that option and still be healthy. It's not
Mhm.
just, fast food or something
Exactly.
else. So tell us about your upcoming trip to Africa.
Yeah, yes. So I love to travel, and a few years ago I did a vegan tour to Italy, and people loved it. We had a fabulous time. It was great. And then last year I went to South Africa with my mom and a group of her friends and colleagues, and just loved it. And I was posting about it the whole time. And so many people said they wanted to go with me on my next trip because they're like, this is like the best trip ever. It really was. And I was like, okay, and I put a poll out of, where people wanted to go. And I put this back on the list, even though I'd already been, because so many people were like, I want to go to South Africa. And this one won the poll of where folks wanted to go the most. It was Bali was a close second. So we'll probably do that one next. But this came up, and so it's a vegan tour, but if you're not vegan, of course you can come, and there'll still be, carnivorous options for those who want to eat meat, but it'll be focused on really good plant-based food along the way. And we're going to do all the highlights from, visiting in South in Cape Town, for visiting like things like Table Mountain and Robben Island, where Nelson Mandela was imprisoned. And then, of course, one of the highlights is the safari, which I can't wait to do again. I can't get enough of that. I mean, our last safari was like amazing. And then we're going on to Johannesburg and Zimbabwe to see Victoria Falls. I'm like, you can't go all the way there and not take a really short plane ride over to see the falls. So it's a 2-week trip starting in October, and registration's still open until July, until mid to end of the July.
It sounds amazing and like you've covered just an incredible amount of places and important educational things as well as delicious food. Um,
Right.
do do people need any sort of background or travel experience? Is this catered toward people who are maybe newer travelers? What do you think about that?
Yeah, so you really don't need any experience. It's really great if you're like a solo traveler, because a lot of times you want to go to these places and maybe you don't have someone who can go with you. You're going to be with the group. You will not be alone. I'm going to be there every step of the way, and there'll be a lot of other single folks. So we have couples, of course, we have single folks, we have single people traveling with their friends, and then we have single people who they only know me or just met me. So it's really great for any of those settings. It's more for adults. You can bring kids, but 13 and up. But it's more adult focused. And yeah, you just need a passport. So if you don't have one, get it in like pronto, because it's taken a little longer, because I hear they're not as well staffed as they used to be in the passport office. So you want to get that ASAP. I mean, you still have plenty of time, but you'd want to do it like now.
Sure.
And then Cape Town doesn't require like vaccinations or anything. Zimbabwe, they were at the time, and I'm going to check again, because as May and June rolled around, more requirements for vaccinations have gone away. So Zimbabwe just had required either you take a test there a day or two, which we could organize for you, or have a vaccine card. So that's it. No shots or anything like that. So you just got to pack a good bag and bring a little money. And although most of the things are included, so you don't need much money really, except for souvenirs. And have a good time. Bring a great attitude.
So what's the most surprising thing that has happened on one of your trips?
That's a good question. The most surprising thing. To me, I mean, this is a little thing, but I'm all about the food. So the most surprising thing was when I got to Cape Town, there was a vegan restaurant literally around the corner from the hotel. I just looked up on this app and I was like, oh my gosh. So of course I went. I got there. Everyone else was delayed a day, so I had a whole day to myself. So I was like, I'm gonna venture out by myself in the middle of the city. I was a little scared, but it was fine and had a great time. So that was surprising. Everything else was great. The other thing on the safari, the elephants, we were so close to the animals. I mean, they were like we did not touch them, but we could have. But the elephant looked like it was gonna charge us for a minute, and we all froze in dead silence as we were told. And then he took a turn, and we were like, so that was one of those moments.
Yeah,
it was very exciting. It was scary, but a good scary and exciting. I would definitely do that again.
that's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, tell our viewers how they can keep up with you and what you're doing and learn what's upcoming.
Yeah, so folks, the best way to keep up with me is to go to my website, rubylathon.com, and get on my newsletter. There's a link right when you get to my website just to sign up, or if you find me on any social media, you can go to my bio and get a link to my website and sign up for the newsletter, because I'm always putting out what I'm doing and sending reminders and things like that, as well as really valuable health tips and things like that about once a month. So, follow me on all the social medias. I'm there. And but check the website, get connected on the newsletter, and you'll always know what's coming up.
Great, I love it. Viewers, please look in the description below for links. You will find all of this wonderful information. And Ruby, thanks so much for taking time to chat today. It's really nice to hear about your healthy vegan food and your trip to Africa. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm always happy to join, and it's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Bye.
To those watching, please follow Team Rayceen on social media and subscribe to the Team Rayceen YouTube channel. And viewers, thank you for watching.